Hello everyone. Welcome to the DIMT podcast. In this episode, I have the pleasure to talk to Dr. Abraham. He's a master practitioner in NLP, a consultant, a life coach, and a mentor at Mindmasters Trivandrum. He has done his MBBS from the Trivandrum Medical College and his MD in dermatology from All India Institute of Medical Science, AIIMS. He's so passionate about Neuro Linguistic programming and helping people with it that he gave up his medical career in the UK to help people learn about NLP and better their lives. I'm truly inspired by his philosophy of helping others to make a difference, and it's an honor to invite him on the podcast. So, let's hear him share his invaluable lessons. Hi, sir. Welcome on the podcast. So, first of all, I would like to ask you what exactly is NLP and how does it work? Can you expand on that, please, and help us learn more about that?
Basically, NLP means Neuro Linguistic Programming. That's a big term. But more than that, NLP is a very simple, logical, easy to understand and relatable methodology which tells you what is that you do when you think. That means when we say thinking can be as a lot of meanings. But when you think, what you're doing is you're taking a lot of thoughts from outside and arranging the thoughts inside your mind in the way you've been brought up, like your family, your religion, your culture. They have given a frame, and we always arrange these thoughts according to the pattern that we have been brought up in. And this pattern of thoughts dictates how you understand, and the way you understand dictates the way you behave and your performance and your communication. Okay.
Right, so right.
Now, what NLP does is to show you exactly how this happens. Let me give you a simple example. Suppose you have a behavior that you do not like. You worry a lot, or you become depressed very easily, emotional. You go to somebody and they help you change the behavior. This is where we make the biggest mistake, because the behavior is a result of way you arrange your thoughts, and that is arranged by you and inside your mind.
Right.
The moment it becomes a behavior, it goes outside your control. It is not under your control. So what we are saying is, rather than changing the behavior, change the thoughts which is under your control, and believe me, you change one thought, the whole connection is lost and the understanding will change, and therefore the behavior also change.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So this is basically what NLP is, or it just tells you this is what is that you do.
Okay.
Let me give you a simple example of how this is done. I'm sure you got few people you don't like in your life. Okay.
Right.
I want you to think about the worst person that you don't like. And when you think about that person, you see that person inside your mind, isn't it?
Right. So right.
And therefore you're remembering all the things that happened.
Right.
And when you think about all the things that happened, you start feeling upset, and therefore your behavior also affected by that. What I'm saying is, this is the picture of this mind of this person that is upsetting you. Therefore, if you put a Mickey Mouse face on that person, then suddenly the picture changes, it becomes humorous, and therefore your behavior will also be more controlled, and because you are not affected by this person anymore. Okay?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And how does it relate with the mind? And this is something that I wanted to discuss previously as well. Like, what is this linkage between the thoughts and how your subconscious mind actually processes it? Like, I'm sure you must have read this book by Joseph Murphy called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, right? So, where does that exactly come into play?
Now, let's not get confused between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, okay?
Right.
Everything happens inside the unconscious mind, which is the storehouse. Like, the unconscious mind is like the default screen, is like the hard disk, and the conscious mind is like the default screen on the computer. The conscious mind cannot retain more than 2 or 3 items at one time, okay? So, what it really does is, basically, it helps you to understand. See, the thoughts, remember one thing, the thoughts that you arrange are just thoughts, and the thoughts have no feelings. Okay, there's no feelings attached to the thoughts, and it's under your control. But the moment it becomes understanding, you start putting meaning to the understanding, and then it goes out of control, because the meaning is very emotional. It has got feelings. Okay.
Right.
So basically what we are saying is, rather than thinking about conscious and unconscious, if you just think about very simply, this is the way I arrange my thought, that is why I understood like this, and that is why I'm behaving. The thoughts are under control. Remember, if you try to change feelings, the problem is feelings attached by it's associated with the behavior is associated with feelings, and therefore it's very difficult to change. It is emotional. Okay.
Right.
Suppose you're very angry, and I tell you, Gagandeep, don't be angry. It's not easy. But if I tell you, Gagandeep, this is how you arrange your thoughts, that is why you became angry. You change one thought, the whole syntax changes, and the behavior also changes.
Right. Like, is this very much relevant, like controlling your feelings in terms of controlling your thoughts? Like, especially we see that in competitive sports or in business. Like, if you are not in control of the feelings, then you are actually doomed to fail, because you are going to be influenced by those feelings. So if you can control those thoughts, and then eventually you are going to control the feelings. And like,
what we are saying is don't control the feelings, because that is under if you mess with feelings, if you are very angry and tell you change it, you will not listen to me. But if you know that it is because of the way I thought I had this feeling, you change the thought. I'll give you another simple example. I was helping a person who is a rifle shooter. Okay,
right.
She was in the national team, rifle shooting team.
Right.
And therefore, when she was doing the shooting, I asked her, "What are you thinking?" She said, "I'm thinking about how much points I made and how much points I have to make to pass this to win this tournament."
Right.
So I said, "If you're thinking like this, isn't it going to affect your shooting?" She said, "Of course, it's affecting my shooting." Then I said, "Why are you thinking like this?" "I can't help it. I have to think." I said, "Okay." I told her, "Do one thing. In the rifle, there is a small screen, and when the target and this comes together, that's when you have to shoot." So I told her, every time this comes together, you say target, shoot, target, shoot. Keep saying this. So because she was constantly keeping saying this, she was not thinking, and therefore it was not affecting her performance. And graph came right up to the top, and she won the tournament very easily.
Right. Okay. And let's talk a little bit about meta programs. Like, what are the various different aspects of it?
See, meta programs are when you take remember I told you, when you take in information, you take information through your eyes, and through your ears, and through your feelings. Okay, this information you take in your mind, and it is edited inside your mind, and therefore what you understand is what you wanted to understand. Like any TV studio, they take information outside and they edit, and what they show you is what they want you to see. Okay, so this is the process of collecting information. But the problem is, in our mind, we process information. The processing is done unconsciously, and this processing part is called meta programs. The mind has got this. These are called thinking styles. The mind has got this thinking styles because if all the information came to your mind all of a sudden, your mind will fuse. Therefore, your mind says, "Okay, my master can deal with only 2 or 3 items at one time. So all the information that is coming is divided into chunks of 2 or 3 and made to stand in a line, and is admitted inside your mind only in that size."
Right.
But the importance of which thought comes first and which thought comes second is dictated by your thinking style, and that is called a meta program. Let me give you an example. There is a meta program called towards and away from. Towards people are the ones, if you go into a college, you say, "What am I going to get by doing this subject?" So they are looking at what they can get, and therefore these people are attracted by incentives. The opposite is away from. This person is going to the college not to pass the exam, but to avoid failing the exam. Can you understand?
Right.
So they are looking for problems, and therefore they are good problem solvers. But the problem is they only see problems. Okay?
Right. Yeah, this is something that I read, that your mind actually cannot comprehend the negative. Like, whenever you tell your mind to not to do something, it actually goes into thinking about it more.
Yeah, the mind has to think what is not to think. Like, if I ask you, don't think about a white elephant, you'll think about a white elephant. So what we are saying is, rather than think about what you don't want to think about what you want to do.
Right. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And like this was very pertinent to me, especially when I was like I was making one record like last year only. It was like India Book of Record, and it was for like most pull-ups in 12 hours. Like when I thought of making this record, like first of all in my mind actually came that I cannot do it, like because I haven't actually done like 5 pull-ups in a row in my whole life. So like from thinking on the negative side of it, like I can't do it. If I focused on like how can I do it, then if asking that question, putting on that question mark, then actually your mind starts thinking of the ways to actually make that happen. So is this something that NLP teaches?
I'll proceed on that and give you an example.
Right.
Okay. When you are doing this push-up, rather than thinking about I can't do this push-up, I want you to go not say I can do. I want to go beyond that. Imagine beating the record of push-ups coming into the Guinness Book of Records of the maximum number of push-ups in the world. Imagine what you will see, hear, and feel when you have done that. Your mind will start expanding and think, oh, this is fantastic. Now the mind gets an idea about this. It starts get attracted to this, and from today onwards, your mind will find out any way of helping you do more push-ups. I'll give you one more example. In the Olympics, the 100 meters race finals is the prime event. Okay, right. Imagine you are one of the athletes in the 100 meters race finals, and next to you is Usain Bolt. Right. You know that you're not going to win the race, and you know what a fool you're going to make yourself. If you think like this and the gun goes, you run very slowly.
Right.
I want you to, for a minute, I want to close your eyes and imagine busting the tape. Imagine running a lap of honor. Imagining the medal ceremony is being put and the medal going round your neck and the national anthem is being played and the Indian flag is going up like this. I can bet you if the gun goes now, you'll run 100 times faster than you did before. You still will not win the 100 meters race, but you ran a lot faster. Right?
Right, sir, right. Like visualization is the very important key.
Yeah, visualizing, not just visualization. Imagining the experience of what will happen when you visualize. Right. So what NLP says that not just seeing what you're seeing, I want you to imagine hearing what you're hearing, the crowd noise and everything, and I want to imagine how you feel, the feeling that goes all over your body, the thrill of winning the 100 meters race. So in NLP, it's just not just visualization, it's all the three together.
Right, so right. But like let's talk about the competitiveness aspect of it. Like sometimes what people do is like they don't actually put in the work. They just simply keep on visualizing, keep on imagining things to happen. Like they believe in this law of attraction, and they took it in the wrong sense. Like they think that simply by visualizing things and simply by thinking about the experiences that they're going to have, that it's simply going to happen. But it's not the case. So what would you advise to them?
What I'm going to say might probably make a few people unhappy. I think this law of attraction thing has been oversold. Okay.
Right.
Law of attraction, according to me, says that if you imagine something, you will get it. You will not get it. What we are saying is, if you can imagine something happening to you and imagine what you will see, hear, and feel, and get into that experience, then you will perform more. And the chance of getting it increases. Right. You will not get what you imagine. But if you imagine what you will see, hear, and feel when you have got it and get into that happy frame of mind, your mind and your body will change, and therefore you will improve your performance 100 times, but you still need not get it. You will come a lot closer. Remember, when you thought about this winning the gold medal in the Olympics, didn't you run faster than before? That's the point.
Right.
So this is why NLP to me is more relevant than the law of attraction. But then there are a lot of people going after law of attraction. I respect them. Okay.
Right, so right. Let's talk about a little bit about some of the like aspects which sometimes people confuse when they think about like NLP is about mastering the mind and being excellent in whatever you're doing. In a realistic sense, like it is not possible to be perfect in whatever you do, but still like do you think that it's more about chasing that excellence even if you don't achieve it nearly as possible?
I think this is sometimes what people do to sell NLP. NLP is not mastering your mind. NLP is understanding your mind. Okay.
Right.
If you understand your mind, you can work better. Suppose you see you have a laptop in front of you. If you can understand how the laptop works, can't you make it better? That is all. You even you with all your expertise, you will still not be able to master the laptop to come to its best. So what NLP says that if you can understand how you think, how your mind works, you can make it work better, and therefore the chance of getting something more increases. Okay, that's all that it can do. Okay.
Right. And you have written some books as well, like one of which is Reach for the Sky. Can you talk a little bit about that? What is it all about?
Okay. Now, the book is a collection of all my notes from beginning to end. Okay.
Right.
And all that I put it in the form of a book. Now, I don't publish that book because it has been collection of my notes from nearly 20 years. Okay. But because I do not know where I got this from, it is not fair to those original people who wrote those parts of the book. Okay. Right. Some documents, some paragraphs and all that, I have no idea. So what I do is I print it in the form of book and I give it to those people who come for my sessions as notes. Okay.
Right.
And so it's basically a collection of everything that I know about NLP is in that book in the form of if you look at it, it looks like a book. Right.
Like this is just a personal question, like that I wanted to ask you, because I'm also a writer. But when you write something about especially non-fiction and self-help, then there comes a sense of guilt. This has been discussed before. You are writing just the same thing. You are just giving the same analogies that have been given before. But if we come to the you might have heard of the quote there is nothing new under the sun. So even if they are the old ideas, it's your way of perceiving them and how you actually present it to the world. So I actually could not figure it out for a long time, but how can I actually make sure that I put out whatever I feel like because that is just my way of presenting my those ideas, even if they are old.
Again, whatever we say, somebody else had said it in one way or the other.
Correct.
Okay. So as long as whatever you say comes from within you, within your heart and your mind, and they will always be, it is the way you say that matters. Can you understand? Right. When I take my sessions, my participants come and tell me, Doctor, the way you say things, it shows that you really mean what you're saying. And I show a lot of movie clips and I give personal examples. So they say, Doctor, we can relate to what you're saying. Okay? Right. So when I write books not to become an author. I write books because to write the book, I have to read a lot of things. And therefore, I've got about 4 or 5 books in my project at the moment. And all these books may not be published, but I'm not bothered. But in the search for writing these books, I'm reading more and more stuff. I'm writing a book called Master Game Called Life. I'm writing a book called Thoughtcraft. I'm writing a book on therapeutic communication. I'm writing a book on sports and NLP. So many things, all topics I keep writing. So when I write, I learn more things. That is all. Right.
So let's talk about the neurological levels. Whenever someone is competing, let's say in sports or even in business, do you think that the best performers, the high achievers, they have this high level of neuroticism, or they actually don't actually feel it at all?
I think you're confusing neurological levels with mental aspects. That is not what it is. So the people who are high achievers are, the difference is they have a dream and they believe in the dream so much that the dream, see, if you do not have a dream, it's like when you order an Uber, you do not know the destination. Okay. Right. Or if you're using a GPS, the destination. So if you have a dream and you believe in the dream and imagine what you will see, hear and feel when you have achieved the dream, and then the dream becomes a pulling power. And when you believe in yourself, they do things much more than they would have done otherwise, because they are now on an automatic pilot to get this. Can you understand?
Right.
And so they are not neurotic. I mean, these are all terms which can be confused. We are all, some people come and tell me, doctor, you're so mad. I said, that's the biggest compliment you can give me, because normal is boring.
Right.
Okay.
Great, sir. And we talked about it yesterday only. You explained the various different aspects and benefits of NLP and its applications in various aspects of life. Can you explain that more?
Okay.
Can you give some analogies on that?
Right. NLP to me is the thinking behind soft skills. Okay.
Right.
There's lot of training. There's lot of teaching. Everybody is being trained and taught and taught and that. I'm sure when you went to college, nobody told you how to think. They're always telling what to think and
right.
Writing the exam, passing the exam, getting more marks. That's all everybody is doing. What NLP is saying is that whenever you go for a college or anything like this, you have a dream, and you connect your mind to the dream, and the dream becomes your destination. And then when you believe in yourself, you start enjoying studying, because I know if I study and I do well in this exam, I will get that. Therefore, it doesn't matter. See, I could still fail in the exam, but till the result came, I was enjoying myself. Can you understand?
Right.
And in this enjoyment, you will do much more than this. There is a fantastic movie called Peaceful Warrior. When you have a time, see that movie. Nick Nolte acts in the movie. In that, he tells this gymnast, he says that enjoy the journey, not the destination. Can you understand? So if you go for an exam thinking that I must pass the exam, then you're going to be anxious. But if you think about what will happen if I become first in the exam, enjoy that feeling, then you will study better, you'll write better, and the chance of passing also increases.
Right, sir. Yeah.
I always tell students, enjoy learning, enjoy writing the exam, and after the exam, go and see a movie. Let the faculty worry about the marks.
Right, sir. Yeah, I can completely relate with that. Recently, I was watching this Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. When I saw that, I saw that how much of a competitive person he is. He competes for even the smallest things. Do you think that competitiveness comes into play? And like you talked about, it's about enjoying the process.
It is very important. Competitiveness is very important, but competitiveness should be because you enjoy competing, not to win. Win should not be the factor. Okay. If you say win at all costs, then you will not enjoy the competitiveness. I was training a school athletic team, and one kid came and asked me, doctor, when I'm running, if the other person runs faster, what should I do? I said, run faster. Yeah. What else can you do?
Right. Right. Some people just do it for for the love of competitiveness, because at some point what happens is that even if you are setting a big goal, even if you achieve that, then sometimes people no longer have that drive or that passion to go on further. So it is that competitiveness that actually drives them forward, right?
Exactly. That's the point. It's about enjoying being the best.
Right. So okay, so let's talk a little bit about your training programs.
Okay. Awesome. Right. Before I say that, I went into NLP because I love helping other people. Okay. And initially, I used to make a fool of myself by helping other people, even if they did not want. And I lost a lot of money. When I did the NLP while I was in England as a dermatologist, I suddenly realized the best way to help somebody else is to help them help themselves. So basically, NLP is all about empowering you to understand the power of your mind, and helping you develop a dream so that you can use the power of your mind to achieve your dream. See, from the day you are born, people have been telling you what to do, right? But nobody told us how to do. So NLP is all about taking responsibility for your behavior. See, the problem in our country especially is we want other people to help us, and we will not do anything.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
See, if I always tell people, if you are not bothered about helping yourself and being the best, then don't waste my time, because they want you to help them, and if it doesn't work, it becomes your fault.
Right.
What was the question you asked? I diverted.
So your training program, sir.
Okay.
Can you explain that?
Okay. Right. One thing we need to realize about NLP training is NLP training and NLP certification is big business. Okay.
Right.
There is no national or international organization which says they are the validating authority or the licensing authority. So there is no organization which says they are the authority for licensing NLP training. Okay.
Right.
Everybody will say that we will accredit your our programs. So like the Coaching Federation has got NLP training and it's accredited by the Coaching Federation. So
Right.
even you can start a training program. Nobody can question you. So what I've done is whatever I don't get into this all the training groups. I'm not interested being called a trainer either. Okay.
Right.
This is my passion. I love helping people and I enjoy every. So the next program we have only about 5 or 6 participants. I am happy. Smaller the group, the better.
Right.
So what I do is my programs, whatever I know, I divide it into 2 major sections. Level 1 for a diploma certificate, which includes almost everything I know about NLP. And in level 2, we go a little deeper with more exercises and assignments and exam and more about strategies and things like that. And first is level 1 for 10 hours. Second is level 2 for 10 hours. So in 20 hours, I give 2 certificates, level 1 a diploma certificate, level 2 a practitioner certificate. This is at the moment being done online. And what I've done with all my courses is all the exercises I videotape so that you can see it being done. Now, even in the sessions, if you miss about 1 hour or 2 hour of a session, I will personally sit with you the next day and on one-to-one, I will make it up to you. Can you understand?
Right, sir. Right.
Even after the session, I will mentor all the participants from 10 years on. They still keep in touch with me.
Right, sir.
And I've developed a level 3, which is for those people who are really interested in NLP to go a higher level. And this is a more abstract. It's all about matrix modeling and symbolic modeling and sleight of mouth. It's a little advanced and very abstract. That's about 15 hours.
Right, sir. Okay.
So we have 3 levels.
Okay, great, sir, great. And like this is my last question to you, and it's like how can we use specifically NLP in sales or marketing? Now, can you explain that in a deeper level?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If I ask, if you think what is sales or marketing, what are you selling? You're selling a product. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So according to me, that is where we make the biggest mistake, because you buy a computer not to buy a computer. You buy a computer because you are thinking about what you're going to do with the computer. Imagine you're buying a Ferrari. Okay.
Right. Right.
And I sell you a Ferrari. But I should not sell you a Ferrari. I should sell you Jagandeep. What are you going to do with Ferrari? Oh, I'm going to take my girlfriend or my mom or family and I'm going to Bahamas and with the top down and we are enjoying the ride. Now, that is what I need to sell you, not the Ferrari.
Okay. So it's about basically selling the vision, right?
Selling the dream.
Right. Right.
And when you sell the dream, the people will come and buy from you because you're the only one who talked about their dream, which is so important to them than the product.
Right.
Like if a patient came to me, I will not ask the patient, what's your problem? I need to ask also. But more than the problem, I'll ask the patient, imagine when your sickness is okay, you're completely healthy. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to Singapore for my daughter's wedding. Now we are talking about Singapore. And he's already there. And believe me, he started healing.
Right, sir. Sometimes what I've seen is that most people who have some good products, they don't understand this concept. But people who don't have, a good product, they seem to like exploit that. Like we have seen that in companies like sometimes like MLM companies like Amway, like they are selling the dream. Yeah.
Yeah. How many people have lost so much of money? Is one of the biggest frauds on earth. This multi-marketing to me, okay?
Right.
Because it is like you're fooling them with dreams. So what I always tell people: do not sell the product. Make them want to buy from you.
Right.
Okay?
Right. And so, what is your message for the youth? Yeah, so you mentioned about like a very good point of like it's more important to consider how to think rather than what to think. So yeah, what would you say?
My message is have a dream. The more ridiculous the dream, the better. See, when you were 4 or 5 years old, did you have awesome dreams? Where did the dream go? It was probably destroyed by your family. okay, or your colleagues, and there is a species of people in a family circumstance called relations who got nothing else to do but destroy your dreams, right? And your teacher. So what I'm saying is, have a dream, believe in your dream, and doesn't matter whether it's possible or not. Believe in your dream, believe in yourself, understand your own mind, and doesn't matter what other people say. Never let somebody else put you down.
Right, so right, that's a great message.
Magic will happen.
Right, so, and so where can people find you? Your social media or your website?
I've got a website is mindmasters.org. I think I've sent it to you. Okay?
Yeah, sir.
And I'm on my Facebook. My Facebook page is only for my work. I don't do it for social connections. And that also, I think I've sent it to you. I'm on LinkedIn. And my number is 94470181148. Both call and WhatsApp. And people are free to contact me anytime they like.
Right, so great, so. It was great, sir. Thanks for being on this podcast, sir. It was a great validation. I'm sure people will find some value in this podcast. You know, you mentioned some great things, and it was great having conversation with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, did you find this podcast valuable? If it made you think, made you laugh, made you learn something new, made you better, I want you to do one thing, and that is to share this podcast with as many people as you can. That is the only fees that this podcast has. With that said, see you in the next episode with another great personality to learn something from. Until then, keep working.